Okay, welcome to the League and more live here from Totally Workwear Stadium. All right, we're with COD legend Gavin Payne. Round one of the Intrust Super Cup. Finally, the footy is back, mate. Last weekend, round one. Some interesting results in
one other question.
Who's the biggest pest in the shed? Anybody yapping away that's just really annoying in there?
It's probably me.
Really?
Yeah, chocolate. I'm sorry.
Got nothing to fight against them.
Is it a burden for you to be known as the best looking forward in the pack with the
It is hard,
Yeah.
but that's my cross to bear.
Is it?
I just got to do what I can do, I guess. Yeah.
Is there a lot of product on the nightlife?
On the nightlife? In
The
this?
salad?
I'd just say a hard hat helps. A lot of sweat. Got really nowhere to
I'm
go.
nervous in the sheds there. Sometimes you just want to stay away from the pests in the dressing shed. You got one of them?
Danielle Hunter.
Gee, you just have to you put through her on the
Yeah.
bus in a minute.
I knew it was coming.
Is there a contender? Or was just Danielle down
I mean, Emily Beavers, when they're together, they're bloody annoying.
the road? Never mind, that's all right. You just put those two in the corner. Well, good luck against I made a mistake. I thought Ben Leslie was the most beautiful man in the forward pack, but I'm wrong. The man next to me on my right, Mitchell Fry, is a contender. How are you, Frizy?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Feel pretty good after a compliment like that, but yeah.
Well, that's true.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I've got your photo in my wallet.
Yeah.
Only from here up, of course. But anyway, let's move on.
Being part of League More this week, I'm asking some tricky questions because you're from Melbourne. I want to know your knowledge on this one. Do penguins have knees?
No.
There you have it.
Last one, Gav. Last League and More for 2021. Gavin Payne, it has been a wonderful year here in League and More, but it has been a great time out in the park for the Intrust Super Cup Club.
Oh, we've had a great time here. The players and the coaches have been very good in spending their time, sharing their time with us and giving us insight into the daily rigours and the games that they've been playing. Tough season, though, yeah.
You don't want to be a coach in that regard, but there have been some highlights. Obviously, we still got Colts in the semi-finals. The women's competition, we got better with every game. They got pumped by Burley in the first round. They came back a lot better with Adrian Vowles. Yep. So that was good. Cyril Connell, Mel Meningo did quite well in that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that department. Bulimba is still in the semi-finals for the BRL competition. They defeated club. Korea, unfortunately, just not stepping up, but they started the season well. They lost some close games at the start. So there's a lot of good things, but you just can't, bad luck can just be bad luck.
Well, it is, and I did a bit of research on the Tigers season just before we came in today, and they started off the season really well, won 3 of their first 6.
Yep.
And I've had a 1-point draw since, which was last weekend. So there's a whole pile of things that come into play when those sorts of things are happening. Obviously, injuries in your upper grades certainly is part of it. Players going up to Melbourne and so forth as well, like Boothie and those sorts of guys. So there's a number of things. It's a hard luck story, and no one really cares about it other than the people that are down here putting all that time in. So, it's look forward to next year.
Yeah, there's 14 teams in the competition. You can't win it every year, but obviously you'd like to get a little bit closer. And obviously the pre-season and the signings will be paramount. We're going to talk to John Buchanan, but we spoke to Brian Torpey about how many players we did sign. That's something that the administration side of things are aware of, and they want to try and address that. But then again, if you have too many players, what do you do with them? It's not an easy time in rugby league, but back in the days of yours in the 90s, once you signed a squad, that was it. Nobody went to the NRL and the Brisbane Rugby League competition back then in 91. The Intrust Super Cup, Queensland Cup back then, was a lot of loyalty and a lot of people stuck around, and you knew the guys who started the season would finish the season with you.
It is so hard to be a coach these days in the competitions that are at the Intrust Super Cup level. I believe, and I've coached back in the mid-90s and that when we had reserve grade and no C grade, but still you had a Colt side and that where you could drop your players back to. Now they've got to go if they're not good enough to make the cup side. They're dropping back to the feeder clubs in B grade and in the BRL and that, and some players just simply don't want to do that and believe that they're better than that, and potentially they are. But if there's no injuries and you're not in the top squad, it's a tough one.
What would you like to see changes in the Intrust Super Cup? Apart from the rule changes, but how would you like to see it structured? Should it be a shorter season? Should it be? Should there be more Friday night footage? How do we make the Intrust Super Cup better?
Well, mate, I'll be on a QRL contract if I give you all that information. Look, I don't have all the answers, indeed, but I think for the sake of the nature of what the clubs need and the players that they need to keep around to keep that consistency and the level of football going, I think they really need to go back and have a look at a reserve grade in some sort at the club level, not dissipating those players out to the feeder clubs at the BRL level. And that will certainly help. If you have a good run, you have a good run. If you have a bad run, well, you've got the players there to come up and play. And that's, maybe I'm old-fashioned because that's what I grew up with and what I coached and what I played in. So there's a whole lot of things, and I presume there's a lot of smarter people than me out there trying to work these things out. But it's not a hard thing to try and fathom and work your way around. Just get some people in a room and work out what the best methods are going forward.
All right, last weekend a draw against South, Jaden Sarko and company. So a good effort led at half time and got run down. I think it was still 5 tries apiece or something like that. But story of the year. This is the last game this weekend at home. You would like to have a win against the Cutters, but that's no easy feat. They're a side who can turn something into nothing, and they've got nothing else to lose. So it should be I think it'll be a crackerjack game of rugby league where two sides, there's obviously nothing else to do come Saturday or come Monday. Should be fun. League more for the very last time. It's my pleasure, probably not John's, to have been talking to you all year, mate. Been a tough year. I would have liked to have taken a photo of you at the start of the season compared to what you are now. It's just, you must have walked over a Chinaman's grave, mate. It's just been one of those years, hasn't it?
Yeah, mate, it is what it is. I think it doesn't break you, it makes you. So, we've faced a number of challenges. No one ever says it's easy at this level. And, it's definitely not, it hasn't panned out exactly at all how we wanted it to. But, we have faced a number of challenges and, we'll finish off this weekend hopefully with a win and we can move into 222.
I don't think anybody can really plan for, especially injuries, but then again, you probably need to plan ahead as if you're not going to have injuries and hopefully it goes all very well. There have been a lot of pluses to the season, I must say. Obviously, Burley's a good win at that. You've got players like Oliver Pascoe have stepped up from BRL. You've got players going up into the NRL. So your job as a coach is probably a bit, in fairness, a bit of a curse when you do a really good job and these players disappear on you.
Oh, yeah, mate. At the end of the day, though, we want to win games here, as the Tigers, and we haven't done that well enough this year, so that's my responsibility. We've been fortunate enough to give the opportunity to a number of young players to get some experience at this level, which is great. Yep. We've still got to be winning games. I think Mark touched on it before there. We've had 5 Colts play first grade, and 4 of them predominantly the last sort of 7 or 8 games. So that experience is really valuable for them, and they're all going to be better for that experience moving into next year.
We spoke to Brian Torpey a couple of weeks ago. He was a little bit, how would you say, sour on himself that you didn't sign enough players for the depth. But then again, if you had to sign too many and nobody got injured, you'd have players that are, I'm not saying getting wasted. So it's a hard balance, isn't it, how many you actually sign in the pre-season? Yeah,
I think probably something that's overlooked a little bit. We probably didn't sign enough players. Yeah. I think Brian and I both agree on that. However, we got a number of injuries out of our Melbourne pre-season guys. So all 4 that went to Melbourne all got injured, which is unfortunate. It's just how it is. And then obviously on top of that, we also got 3 or 4 of our own injured through that period as well. And one thing that we've noticed throughout the club this year has been very rarely have we had a soft tissue injury in the club. Every injury we've had in the club has been, a break or a knee or, Achilles or shoulder or whatever. They're not
bad luck.
Yeah. So,
so it's not all the fitness and all that sort of stuff. It's just
no. Often you can go through a season where maybe something to do with your strength program or your training program where you've got guys constantly tearing hamstrings or whatever. But We've had one hamstring injury in the club, and it's the same player, so that sort of indicated.
Bealey, wasn't it?
No. He had one early, which was only out for a week. But
Yep.
Lukey DeBell's had a hamstring injury, sort of on and off, for a while. So it's more, definitely all the injuries we've had have been, as I said, like thumb surgeries and God knows what.
They're clumsy, but some of them.
Yeah, so it is what it is, mate. I think just having those injuries come back from Melbourne pre-season, then our own at the start of the year, we're obviously, we very rarely have we even put our best team on the park, to be honest.
Last week against South, there's tail of tape leading at half time in that regard. So it's something I think it's just a coincidence myself. I think it's just you get away to a start and then sides just adapt and adjust to the way you guys are playing in the second half, and they get away with the win at the back end. But it must be frustrating as a coach. But let's not talk about that. This weekend's the last home game and the last game of the season. What are you looking forward to the last game? Are you going to play a bit of razzle-dazzle footy, JB, a bit of the Statue of Liberty, the old footy up the jumper, anything like that?
Oh, no, mate. We're going to train hard this week. We want to win, mate. We haven't had a win for a while. And, we want to finish the season on a really good note, particularly here at home. We haven't been anywhere near good enough playing at home this year. And we'd like to at least send our supporters and, all our sponsors and that away with a positive into the off season.
Well, last weekend was a great, up against Osaka and company like that. The little time either side of half time where they scored, and to come away with 26 all against a quality side like that. I'm just a bit dirty that we're not playing a little bit longer. I reckon we're starting to build that game against Burleigh on the Friday night. Might have got beaten, but we started to show something to bounce back from the loss against the Capras, and it was all starting to come together. The COVID break, we had players coming back from injury. And, Sevi was in there. It's just a shame we're stopping now.
Oh,
I know you want to.
I'll be glad, mate, to be honest.
Yeah, but honestly, you were building to
I think that's probably been the story of our year, though. Like if you look, I think we've been blown off the park 3 games. The other games we've lost, as you touched on there, we've been well in or we've led and we haven't been able to find a way to finish them off. And that's probably the most frustrating thing at all. I think 7 or 8 games we've lost by 10 points or less. That game on the weekend I thought summed up our whole year, to be honest. I thought we were the better team by far. They scored 5 tries from kicks, which is, not acceptable, and we needed to be better there at cleaning a few of them up when we get a result.
All right, looking forward to the off season. When I know it's extended a little bit. When do you guys start come back to the?
We won't be back until November, mid-November.
Right.
I think the pre-season's now getting longer and longer, and I think too, like the players nowadays come back a lot better than we all did 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So mate, and to be honest, I think the physicality of the game.
So do you really need that much pre-season training? The fellas are that fit that can you come in December and then don't burn out come what do we start the first or second week of March?
Yeah, well, look, we're going to take a different approach this year.
Yep.
We got some senior players that we feel probably need a little bit longer break, and we're going to set some benchmarks there on their testing. If they tick that off early, they can go away for another couple of weeks, and then they'll roll back in sort of week 3. And the younger boys will be here from probably mid-November. So, it does get. It seems to get longer and longer, particularly when you're rolling after Christmas and you've still got another 12, 13 weeks till you play, like a fixture game. So,
because we only 1 or 2 trials.
No, you can have 3, I think.
But we only played
had 2.
So all right then. And in saying that, for signings for next year, you can't say too much, obviously, because there's players still contracts and that. But you're happy with those you have re-signed? Yeah,
no, definitely at the moment. Like it's with all the lockdown and that over the last. We've only really been back a few weeks, so getting face to face with players has been challenging with their work commitments and stuff. So we're gradually getting to them, mate. We've signed a few, which I'm sure the club will obviously announce over the next month or so.
All right, and what are you dressing up as on Monday, mate?
To too old for that now. I'm done.
Right, so you might end up looking the Nick Nolte look with the orange jumpsuit. See how you go. John Buchanan, mate, we appreciate here on League and More. I know you're a busy man. Tuesday afternoon, you try and get everything sorted for training. You come down, you always give us your time every afternoon. And you've always done it for me over the last, I don't know how long we've known each other, 10 years. But it's always good chat. You're still passionate about your football. And you take it on the chin, mate. If I was you, I would have just, not talking about injuries-wise, just as a coach in general, you've got to have a burnout period. Something. Will you still coach when you're in the 70s?
No, I don't
Should I
think
ask
so.
the
I
wife
can
that?
definitely guarantee you that, mate.
All right.
I'm 50 next year, so it's all downhill from there. But no, just to thank you to everyone involved with obviously setting up this show, but also all the supporters and the sponsors involved with the club. I know it's been a really difficult year for everyone, in particular results-wise, and the support is still there, which is pleasing. And yeah, we're looking to really bounce back as a club next year.
2022, the year of the Tigers, so hopefully you can stick around. Come out this weekend, totally Workwest Stadium, 4 p.m. Colts, 6 p.m. is the Intrust Super Cup, and come get some merchandise and all that sort of stuff, and say goodbye to the players as they set sail off to the kebab shop, or coaches anyway. Who's the fittest coach? The member of the coaching staff, you reckon?
Definitely Jacob Staines. Our,
Stainesy.
head of performance. Yeah, he's a machine, Stainesy.
He's a machine.
He does a session before on game day before the players get in here. So, yeah, no, he's definitely the fittest, mate.
He stands out, doesn't he?
He does.
All right, JB, all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, I've got the excitement machine next to me, Linc Port, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, mate.
That's good. I remember seeing you when you used to play for the Pride.
Yeah.
Mate, that's a long time ago, but you haven't changed the style of footy you play, mate. You like the ball in hand.
Yeah, no, I do. It's always fun when you got the pill in your hand, so try and get as much as possible.
Injuries sometimes get in the way?
No, injuries, I've been pretty good, throughout my whole career. Up until pretty much COVID. Did a number on me.
Yeah.
Ended up, got my first surgery last year, broke my hand, and then came back, had a couple of niggling injuries in pre-season, and just couldn't get away from it.
Yeah, you broke your hand the right year though, didn't you?
Yeah.
If you're going to do it.
Yeah.
When I say exciting, I've seen you play fullback, centre, wing. Have you played in the halves yet?
Actually, this year, one of our halves went down. Bealey was playing in the halves.
Oh, yeah?
I defended there. I can definitely tell you I do not like tackling. Not a fan, so that was an experience and a half against Wynnum, and you know how relentless they can be. Yeah. So,
and that was a good night that here at Totally Work.
Yeah.
We led at half time.
Yeah, we did. We were a little bit unlucky. Majority of the year, but yeah.
But you threw a lot on the line that night, so it was just were too good that night.
Yeah.
It's been a frustrating year. Obviously, you played a little bit of BRL, but mainly the Intrust Super Cup. It's frustrating when there's so much talent out there and so much potential, and to lead at half time and just come away empty. Yeah,
it's been that year. A little bit disappointing. Where we've been at this year, because we know how good our team is and the quality and calibre of players that we do have here. It's just one of those years, mate. Only thing we can do now is scrap it, come back bigger and stronger next year. It's a proud club and proud supporters, so we just want to make them proud and hold this name up pretty well.
All right. John Buchanan, you like coaching under JB?
Yeah, so I first met JB when I went to Souths and did a stint over there.
That's right, yeah.
I was pretty familiar, and he's helped me along the way, especially with my passing game and that kind of stuff. So and he's moved me around and kind of allowed me to kind of change up my positions in different roles, and it's been good.
You're obviously on the left side. You ever play much on the right side?
No, I think I play like pretty much left or right.
Okay.
But
prefer the left.
No, I don't really care.
Don't care? As long as you get a run.
As long as I get a run in.
All right, who dislikes pre-season training or training more, you or Michael Purcell?
Oh, mate.
Has he got it all over you?
No, me and Purcell are probably the two not to put together in the gym, because all we do is walk around and talk. So you split us up, I think we're half decent, but I definitely hate pre-season more.
All right, and with JB, what I want to talk about is with Michael as well. Do you get a little bit of free range? Because I find you in broken play one of the most exciting players in the Intrust Super Cup. If you give them the opportunity, and this is the beautiful thing about the Intrust Super Cup, you get to improvise and bring your raw talent rather than being a choreographed NRL roll-up, which bores me to tears. But you give Linc Port or Michael Purcell the ball, and anything can happen.
Yeah, no, JB's been really good for that.
Yeah.
That part of my footy game. Obviously, I love that broken style footy, especially now that the game's a little bit faster.
Yep.
And then 6 again rules also fall in the outside back's favour. So that role, JB's kind of give me a little bit of a licence when I wasn't at fullback, even when I was in the centres. So yeah, it definitely allowed me to kind of use my strengths.
Okay. When you play on the left side, do you step off left towards the forwards a bunch?
Oh mate, I love getting back to the forwards, mate. They're usually tired by then. So yeah, it's the big centres. They're the ones that hurt more, I reckon.
No, well, it'll be how they fall. Your form, mate. You're obviously getting. You're probably closer to 25 than you are to 20.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Yeah. Obviously, you want to play Intrust Super Cup. Desire to play NRL still? Obviously, burns bright.
Nah, mate. Look, I feel like I've done that kind of part of my life. Okay. You know what I mean? I still love the game, and I want to be in it while I can.
Yep.
While my body allows me to play as much as possible at the highest level I possibly can. But yeah, like I said, that part of my life is behind me. I'm just kind of enjoying it and just being around great people. You
haven't played a lot of footy in a long time. You are an exciting player, apart from Michael Purcell. Who else reminds you of you the way they play footy?
In the East?
No, well, in the East or in the Intrust Super Cup?
Oh, Intrust Super Cup.
Like Benai Bowie or something like that, is it?
Yeah, like I got a cousin, actually, who's debuted this year for the Northern Pride on the wing. His name is Marky Rosendale. He's a freak, mate. He's one to watch.
Against Wynnum, I believe, down at Redlands. That's right. Yeah.
Cut from the same tree, mate.
There you go. So I just love, that's what I love about the Intrust Super Cup, because teams like to try and win a game of football. The NRL, they try and make sure they don't lose a game of footy. So when you got that, you know what I mean? So you guys actually go out there and play razzle-dazzle footy. No entertainment of playing, say, lock when you get older or anything like that?
Oh, goodness, that's too much tackling for me, mate. If I have to go move to a lock,
tackle anyone, just seagull out in the wing and in the defensive line.
Just hide it through.
Run.
No, mate, if I have to go in the middle, I think I'll have to call it.
Call it quits. There you go. You hear first, whoever gets JB. Keep him in the 2 or 1. What do you prefer?
I love playing fullback. Get the ball in my hand and I can kind of chime in wherever wherever I want. So I love obviously playing fullback, but if I have to fit in on the wing, I'm happy to do that too.
Last game this season for 2021. It's been a rough year. What are you going to do in the off season, mate? Do you play any sport? Do you play a bit of touch or anything like that?
I play basketball.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, with the Gumbell Ballers. Shout out.
Oh, down at Gumbell.
Indoor. We play at the indoor, the Coorparoo indoor. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, me and Braden Torpy and Mitch Cameron. So, yeah, kind of pursuing that and maybe.
That's got to be the best looking netball basketball team you've ever seen, mate. You must shine up, do the hair and everything like that. You probably can't play basketball to save your lives, but you look good.
Braden his hair doesn't move, mate.
It doesn't, does it?
Doesn't.
I don't
know what he does.
Is it real?
I don't know. Cameron's exactly the same, so maybe they got a little concoction going back at home.
Mark Gliddon joins me. He's got the whistle around his neck, and I actually laid awake at night dreaming of him just wearing a whistle around his neck and nothing else. Hey, Gliddo, mate, from going by your voice, not only are you physically disappointed with the weekend, but you're probably a little bit disappointed that the boys taking sides below you on the ladder lightly. Is there complacency? We've seen it a few times where sides below you guys have been better than you.
Yeah, look, I'm not sure. We seem to get ourselves up for the Black Hawks and Redcliffe and Wynnum and the Sunshine Coast, and I don't have to get them up. They're just good on the day. And then we come up against a side that sit just below us, as you just said. And it's happened on 3 or 4 occasions this year. It's quite disappointing. It's probably a mental thing. And if we don't fix it, we're going to be in all sorts.
Is it, or is it just a coincidence?
I don't think it's a coincidence.
Okay.
I just think our blokes, they're young. I was talking to Gavin Payne about this earlier. They're young blokes, and with youth breeds a little bit of inconsistency. So.
Yeah. I mentioned to a few people, obviously you've coached the Intrust Super Cup level, so you understand the players there know to stay on track. And obviously Colts players, there are a lot of distractions, cars, girls, all that sort of stuff as well that they bring to the party, and study for some of them as well. So it's a tough ask for you. You've got to be a counsellor as well as a coach.
I thought you were talking about the coaching staff then, of the distractions of the cars and girls, but
no,
not quite. No, look, you're right. That they all have different commitments. A lot of them are at uni, and yeah, they do have girls and alcohol and everything else. But at the end of the day, they're here for a reason, and they should be professional enough.
Yeah, they should be. But I mean, how do you try and keep them in the line, because it is a long season?
Oh, it is. Look, to be honest, they're a pretty good group. The group I've got, they work hard, and they don't get me wrong. They do like a drink. I see most of that on our chat page, and that's how you follow the kids these days, on Instagram and our chat page and Facebook and whatever else they've got. So I generally know what's going on with them, and they're pretty good about why are they inconsistent. I really don't know. My job's to try and fix that, and hopefully we can do that this weekend against Mackay.
Okay, the finals are on the horizon there, so obviously, you talk about things that are happening on. I know you've got a TikTok page and you like to use a lot of baby oil, but this weekend you're up against. It's the last round of the season. You want to hit the ground running before you go into the elimination series.
Yeah, well, look, we look back 2 weeks ago. 14 days ago, I was really happy. We knocked Redcliffe off, and I thought we were really good. Redcliffe were loaded; they were pretty strong, and we weren't probably at our strongest. And we did a really good job. We just found a way to win, and then 7 days later, we found a way to lose. And so if we win, we finish top 3, top 4, and if we lose, there's a fair chance we finish 6th or 7th. So there's a fair bit riding on it, and they need to win as well, because if they don't win, they fall out of the 8, so they're going to be desperate as well. So it should be a tough game of footy.
So, but you mentioned that, these games you've got to really live for. I think motivation won't be a problem this weekend. It's about probably, I would imagine, Gliddon is making sure they come out of the blocks early, but they don't use up all that gas in the first 15.
Yeah, look, I shouldn't have to motivate them for a game like this. They know what's on the line. They're not stupid, so I probably don't need to remind them too much during the week. But we'll be pretty hard on them this week. I think they realise I'm not overly happy with the result from the weekend. And we work hard this week, and we'll see how we go.
All right, Tully Workwear Stadium. Well, let's talk about that just briefly. It's maybe a last game here, but do you find that being at home really lifts you, blokes? I mean, you did it against the top sides here.
Oh, yes and no. Look, we've lost 2 away games this year and 2 home games, so we're fairly consistent in that area. At the end of the day, it's a piece of grass, so it doesn't matter where you're playing. If you turn up with the right attitude, you should get the required result.
All right, this is the last episode of League and More, but we obviously might do something more with the Colts as we get on. I know you're pretty shattered about that. Look at him, mate.
If you mention baby oil again, seriously.
I'll tell you what. That's right, and an egg beater. So it is a long season, mate. The players have stood out for you?
There's been a few, mate. Probably our best player, Hayali, I think it's Fanau is how you pronounce it. He's played about 6 cup games. He's up with John at the moment and doing a really good job up there. He's probably been a standout for us when he's played for us. And young Justin Smith, he's only played about 5 games due to breaking both his thumbs and Christ knows what else, but he's been really good too. So both our 9s have been really consistent when they're on the field.
Okay, that's form-wise. Attitude-wise, have you seen a boy grow into a man after 20 weeks of footy?
I'd probably go with little Jonah Glover, our halfback. He's an 18-year-old kid that's only played 3 years of rugby league, and over the last 2 weeks he's been our top 3 players. His game management's improved out of sight, and I think he's got some cup in him down the track. Yeah.
It's been a tough season, obviously, with the cup side having a lot of injuries, and that does filter down. So you've got to take a lot of credit to keep these boys up, and you've had to send players up to cup. But have they come back, and have they? It's a cliche, when they come back, they make a difference. Do they really make a difference?
Oh, I think they do, because obviously they've been up there and what they learn under John, and as well as playing with the Intrust Super Cup boys, it gives them a little bit of confidence. So when they come back, they're usually pretty good. Their attitudes are good. So I said at the start of the year, a successful year for us is not so much of where we finish the season, it's how many players we get to play cup, and I think we've had 5.
Okay.
And if you really want to throw it in there, and I'm claiming this, and I'm sure JB Dan Atkinson played here in the Colts, and then he went up to play with John in the Intrust Super. and he made his debut for Melbourne on the weekend. So surely we can claim that.
No, totally. Well, you can, mate. I don't know, JB. I was at him over there. So look, it's been a great year. We need to keep it going. The last thing you want to do is go all the way through the season, finishing 1-2, and then maybe drop out and play in elimination. So this weekend, what time we start? 2?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. So get down to Totally Workwear Stadium. Cheer on the Colts. They will go into the following week, and hopefully they can progress towards the chocolates. When was the last time Colts won a grand final here? Gav? Yep, we'll get back to you on that one.
09? Yeah, wouldn't have a clue. 09.
09, there you go. So there's a lot to play for, and fingers crossed you can do it, Gliddon. You've
time will tell.
Yeah, and I'm going to miss you, mate, honestly. But
I don't know if I can say the same, John. But
you'd like to say the same? I know you got a photo of me on the ceiling at your place. Why? Don't hold us up that long. Harry Barone joins me here on League and More. Harry, sorry about that, mate. Listen, let's talk Rugby League. Why aren't you playing?
I was injured at the start of the year. I hurt my shoulder, but I've been back playing for Carina 20s the last couple of weeks. So yeah.
So you haven't played any Colts yet?
I played 2 games.
Yep.
I played 2 games just recently. I went up to Rocky with the boys, was my last game, and then back to Carina the next week. So yeah.
That wasn't a good trip to Rocky, was it?
No, it was a tough one. It was. We're definitely out of our comfort zone for sure, but we regrouped the next week, and the boys got the 2 points on the back of that. So.
We talked about that game where there's a little bit of complacency comes into it, and I'm just looking at the ladder, and we've spoken about this off air, how the boys seem to have lost the sides lower on the ladder. So are we taking sides we should win against lightly and coming up short, or is it just the way it is?
Yeah, so I'm not too sure what it is. The boys definitely prepare well each week. Like they give it their all every week. I think sometimes they just get out there and don't start well, and things just don't go their way. But yeah, it's definitely something we're going to have to fix going into finals.
All right. Well, we've said it before. Sometimes it's good to lose a game before finals, but I mean, you don't really want to be losing the last game this weekend against the Cutters. South last weekend. Yeah, another side we got rolled by. I was just talking about Josh Glover, mate. Just give him the ball.
Yeah, he's pretty solid. Jonah's been pretty good for us this year. He's been improving each week, and definitely deserves to be there at the back end of the year.
All right, now looking at the ladder, we've slipped to 3rd. Blackhawks are on above that, so that's semi-finals further down the track here. Mate, so the last weekend of footy for the home and away season, yourself, looking back at the year for the Colts, is there any one guy who's actually just sort of, improved leaps and bounds from pre-season to here we are now in September?
Yeah, I'd probably pick Josh Coles. Like, Colesie's been a performer for us all year, but at the start of the year he did get injured and had a setback. He was obviously had a bit of talent before that, but he's definitely worked hard to get back where he is, and he's been playing week in, week out really well. So I'd probably go with Colesie.
Is Colesy a bit clumsy? Is it been the injury?
Yeah, he's a little bit heavy on the feet, but that's all right. He's
all right.
Yeah, no, he's pretty solid, but it's good to see that he's not injured anymore.
Some of the players actually had the chance to play Intrust Super Cup. For those players, have you noticed any difference in them coming back to Colts? Are they a more confident player? Do they take initiatives on the field? I know you probably haven't seen much on the field, but off the field, do you say that's not the same guy before Cup that's out there now?
Yeah, 100%. It's just that next level up. So when they come back, they're just full of confidence.
Yep.
A few of the boys, Sol, Ronnie, H, they've all played Cup this year, and they're all consistent performers for us every week. So 100%.
All right, this weekend you've got to go. As I said, you've got to go north. Will you be right for that one?
I'll probably stay here in Brisbane. I'm not too sure yet, but we'll just see what happens this week.
They're playing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, when will you know, mate? What they?
I'll just wait for the team sheet to come out.
Oh, so it's a selection league, so you're fit enough.
Yeah.
I've got Gliddo's bank account details if you slip something in there and say
a few bribes or something like that.
Yeah, just behaviour, I'll kill you. I just put in the description, thing like that. So it'd be nice to get back on there, but obviously max fitness is probably something they need to look at.
Yeah.
But then also they need the options. The Colts have been lucky with injuries throughout the year. There haven't been a lot. We've been able to maintain that core group. So it's a good place for Gliddo to be in come selections. Obviously yourself coming back and a few others. So, and obviously the COVID break is, I don't know whether that was a good thing or a bad thing for players. But injury-wise, is there? Are you nearly at full strength?
Yeah, so there's a few boys to come back from Cup and that sort of thing that are under 21. So, and then injury-wise, we're pretty good. We went a bit shy through the middle of the year, but yeah, there's a couple of boys coming back this week. There's a few boys that picked up injuries on the weekend, but hopefully they'll be all right in the next couple of weeks going into finals. All
right, Matt, now yourself on the field, mate. Are you? How many yellow cards you got in your career?
Not too many.
Oh, really?
No.
Good boy.
No,
Okay.
I don't think so.
Have you got? Has somebody else got a yellow card because of something you did and you got away with it?
No, I don't think so. None of that. No.
None of that.
I'm a good boy.
Okay, so footy season finishes. What are you going to do, Harry, for the summer? Do you play another sport? Do you just relax?
No, I'll probably get in the gym and try and put on a few kilos.
Yep.
Because I was a bit shy on the weight
Okay.
playing this year, but I'll have to be a bit bigger next year.
Are you a Colt next year?
Yeah.
Wow, okay, all right. So, you're pretty solid enough. Look, if you want to put on weight, just hang out with me for the summer, mate, and I'll have you rolling around literally through the gate. Any superstitions you have, mate?
Not really. I get my ankle strapped, my right ankle strapped, whether it's good or not. Pretty much, that's about it.
All right, very good. Now, let's talk about Gliddon. He doesn't watch this show. Let's talk about Gliddon. Mate, is he sort of like, he chews that gum. Does he buy any extra? Room has his pretty tight, and he actually just scoops off, gum off the sidewalk. Is he like that sort of?
Nah, I heard he's got a extra gum sponsorship, so he's got he's sponsored by Extra Gum Spearmint, so they send him packets full.
Yeah, it's funny. It reminds me of Night at the Museum. Give me some gum dum dum. So there you go. Well, here we go. Listen, all the best. See how you go with the selection process. But obviously, this is the thing about the Colts. You're a group. You're all going in the one direction. And in all honesty, Mark Gliddon's a very, very good coach. He coached North in the Intrust Super Cup. He's the only coach I know who's actually beaten the PNG in PNG and down here as a coach, which is no easy feat when they were flying high. He's a very astute character, and you'll learn a lot from Gliddo. Football-wise, morally-wise, you'll probably end up in the big house if you follow what he does. But I think the Colts are specials to go all the way to the big dance, mate, and hope you're part of it.
Yeah, hopefully. Thanks for that.
All right, Harry, thanks for your time, mate.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that's a wrap. League and more for 2021. We finished up with some great guests there. Obviously, Harry and Linkport, Mark Gliddon, the gum chewer, and John Buchanan. We look forward to next year. Payne, it's been a pleasure, mate. I didn't know you very well at the start of the year, and towards the back end of the year, I found you to be a man who loves the solarium, a man who is true to his word. But you're a genuine man. You love your rugby league. You're a very passionate Tiger. It's been a disappointing year, but chin up. Next year is, with Sheffield Shield, we didn't play for one of the 64 years, so there's always next year.
Yeah. Well, I loved it, mate, and I enjoyed your company as well. The interviews that you do are always very entertaining. I had some great times as well, with the Firehawks and talking to those Firehawks experts and the other folk that we got on throughout the year. Yep. It was very good.
You've spoken to Langy.
Yeah, Langy, Richo, Shane Richardson, the one of the bid chiefs for the Firehawks and that. We've got a pretty good insight into how they were travelling and what they were planning to do and their thoughts and ideas. Obviously, that's still up in the air at the moment. So, we wish the Firehawks and the Tigers all the best in that regard. It's probably down to a 2-horse race between them and the Dolphins potentially, but hopefully, fingers crossed, the Firehawks get the nod and we can support them going forward.
Yeah, tough years we mentioned at the top of the show about what's happening in the off season. I just think people just sort of need to hang tough with the Brisbane Tigers. Don't worry about if the Firehawks deal comes along, fantastic. But it's a great club. I've really enjoyed it. It's my first full-time doing stuff with the Brisbane Tigers. But I see a culture here that's been alive and well for over 100 years, mate. And it will keep going, and the premierships will come. But it's a great club. There's some great characters. I've called some games here where there's people in the grandstand and they just keep turning up. If you buy the grandstand, you're going to take half of these people with them. But look, get down here this weekend. It's the last home game, the last game of the season. The Colts are still alive, so see if you can back them up whenever you can. But Gavin, Payne, it's been a pleasure, mate, and we'll see you next year.
Yeah.